Welcome to another edition of Your Impact Attack. That's right, it's Your Impact Attack. I'm looking at you. Who's you? Well, together we're collectively the VBC. And I am the V in the VBC. I'm the vet, Jamie Williams. Hello. With me, as always, my tag team partner, Brandon, as I reach through the internet with the power, and boom, the house is about to get cleaned. What's up, Brandon?
Doing well, man. Had a pretty good day today. Weekend was all right, and hang with the HMG fam is the best place to be in the world. Whoop whoop.
I agree with that. And of course that family is here. They're the C. The chat is in the VBC. The chat is here. We have people here. We have family here. Who do we have here with us?
Let's see who we got tonight. We got Lab Rat. We got Javi Uchi. Ha! We got Cold Blooded. We got Liz. We got Steve Eggert.
Oh man, Steve. All right. Steve is back. Long time. Steve's one of the few people that's had the either the privilege or the curse of seeing me wrestle in person. So good to see Steve anytime he's able to join us. And Cold Blooded, nice to see Cold Blooded here too in the evening. Um, all right, well that's a great house already, and I'm sure there'll be some more. So don't worry about that. But we have got a what do we have here for you? I was gonna say we have a hell of a show. Do we have a hell of a show? We have Richard Bronson Vickery. We have that. Um yeah, so apparently I was looking over the news items for this week, and I didn't see a great many things to talk about, but there's a couple of things to note per se. Go ahead and get to those. Um, Number one, this article here. Uh, WWE parent company repurchases $1 billion in shares. So TKO has bought back $1 billion of the public stock. Um,
Hmm.
this is a uh, maybe Liz knows something about this accelerated share repurchase agreement and a 10b5-1 trading plan or some shit like that. Um, So it says in the press release, TKO President Mark Shapiro indicated the move shows that the company is confident in its future profitability. The obvious implication that TKO believes the stock it's buying back now will be worth much more down the line could also give the company more room to sell stock to other interested parties, potentially taking TKO private. And they mention how Endeavor was made private earlier this year, with Silver Lake taking control. Shapiro also noted the company recently increased its quarterly cash dividend program by 100%. So their shareholders will receive a quarterly cash dividend of 76 cents per share. So, what that means, anybody's guess. There's a few things that could happen here, but I don't profess to be an expert in these matters. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Admittedly, that kind of went over my head. Like that, yeah, that like financial stock. I just know crypto and weed stocks. I don't. That's beyond me.
Mm. Um, well, Liz says that the 10b5 just makes it so it's not insider trading. And she said they're looking to go private even before I read that part. So, and RBV says regular practice. TKO is taking the Saudi money and paying money back to the top stockholders. Old trick to get the top richer. Well, there you have that.
And as far as TNA to CW goes, see here. TNA President Carlos Silva has confirmed media rights discussions are happening with a new deal expected soon. Not, he didn't specify CW, but somewhere.
Right. Well, in some TNA news, there was also a sort of this is kind of nothing, but um, for some strange reason, um, the Wrestling Observer recently claimed that TNA talents are prohibited from working on Maple Leaf Pro shows because Maple Leaf books people from All Elite Wrestling regularly. Uh, However, Tommy Dreamer said, for the record, this is TNA has sent wrestlers to Maple Leaf Pro. Scott D'Amore is my friend. I want all wrestling codes to be successful. Carlos Silva also denied the report, but then again, so they're basically saying like, so Scott D'Amore, Carlos Silva, Tommy Dreamer all say no, they're not prohibited from working for Maple Leaf Pro. However, these are talking about you know, things that have happened in the past. So at the time of the initial relaunch, which was, when was this? This was October 2024, I think, is when Scott D'Amore relaunched Maple Leaf. And um, you know, Josh Alexander and Speedball Mike Bailey were both under contract to TNA Wrestling. But Bailey faced Konosuke Takeshita, who's an AEW wrestler. So they did have like TNA and AEW things, but I don't know. Nothing recent. And I don't know who's been keeping up with Maple Leaf Pro. So the question is like, why would Dave report that? Because he has no reason to say that other than if he heard something, right? So when was the last time anybody from TNA has worked with them since TNA has been so closely associated with WWE?
Yeah, it sounds like a nothing burger that somebody's trying to stir into something for whatever reason. I mean, wrestling business.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll all just be glued to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling to see who the next TNA talent is there that will show up. But yeah, that kind of that's kind of RV says is Maple Leaf AEW ID? Yeah, I don't know. Um, so speaking of what WWE is behind and who they're with, we had a Worlds Collide event over the weekend. Some of you guys, gals may have watched it. Kind of wasn't able to catch the Worlds Collide, but apparently some things happened. I heard some results. I'm not sure how I feel about any of them. I'm not sure I care. Brandon, you must have done a watch along for Worlds Collide. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
What did you think of the uh what did you think of the overall event? Did you notice any differences coming from like Triple Mania and then looking at this, or even the first World? Didn't they wasn't the first thing they did a Worlds Collide, the first WWE deal they did?
Yeah, that one I
Didn't they
didn't
call
catch.
that Worlds Collide?
Yeah, that one I didn't see though,
Ah,
so I can't compare.
okay.
Yeah, now compared to Triple Mania, this was basically like just the same, but with a smaller crowd. That was it.
I see. Well, yeah, I mean, if there's anything you want to cover from that, I don't know. Uh, they don't have they don't have any TNA wrestlers on there, do they?
At least not on this one. I know TNA
Okay.
wrestlers have appeared on AAA shows since, like, the buyout.
Mm-hmm.
And there was I believe it was an a mailbag segment where somebody asked Conan with WWE owning AAA and then their partnership with TNA, will we see AAA wrestlers on TNA? And Conan emphatically said yes.
Mm. Well, anything else on that front, or should we?
There were a couple of things that were kind of stood out. Let's see, what was the tag title match? Oh yeah, Natty Neidhart defeated Fabi Apache to become the number one contender to the Reina de Reinas Championship.
Oh,
And then we had Psycho Clown and Pagano defending the AAA tag team titles against Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller, where they went over. And there was a spot where Psycho Clown ripped off his mask and Xavier Woods just ran to the back screaming like a frightened child. And then after the match was the big news where the Wyatt Six appearing and attacking Pagano and Psycho Clown.
I heard the clip from that where didn't Conan say something on commentary like they're holding up the belts? That means something.
Yes, he did say that. Yes, he said.
Fucking God! Can you kazoo yourself, please, Charles? My God, the fuck is wrong with you?
And then, of course, the main event where Dominic Mysterio went over Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship, winning his first, I think it's technically his first world title.
I guess. God. That's about the WWE-est nepotistic thing that could have ever happened. You know, there's nowhere to go from there. As far as that goes, like you couldn't be more obvious and blatant, like, but it's their company. They do what they want. Oh wait, no, it isn't their company. Sorry. I kind of slipped into habit there and then realized no, that's not even true. So yeah. Yeah, I'm on the record as not being a proponent of anything to do with Dominic Mysterio, but what did you think? I mean, how did it go over on the show?
Oh, crowd pop for it.
Where the crowd, okay, could you please elaborate on that? Because look, we're kind of doing a show here. What else did they do besides pop? What was the context of it? Did he have heat? Did they really hate him, or is Dom more over now? Is the crowd like? Does the crowd seem like they're pro WWE? I mean, I didn't see it, so I don't know.
It seemed more as like the Pavlovian response, but it's kind of like a mixture of the two. Like, it's kind of hard to explain.
Like it's like, oh, we're popping for a title change. Like,
yes, some of that plus like we also hate Vikingo too.
Right, and they hate Vikingo because they like Del Rio. Is that the reason?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is what we see in American content, like with the main shows with like Worlds Collide, Triple Mania. We don't see any of that Del Rio story that led to why everybody hates Vikingo.
Right. So it's just confusing to see this guy that does nothing like a heel, right? I mean,
yeah, he plays up like a babyface.
And I assume they cheated him out of it.
Yeah, they had El Grande Americano running with the and then Dom got the thing, headbutt, frog splash, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plate. The plate and the mask. Yeah, headbutt. Sorry.
Well, sounds like it's the shits, but hey, what can you do? I'm also sure they've got nothing after that. Like that's as far as they thought it through. I don't know where this leaves Vikingo, except the thing about Vikingo is he's not really a pro wrestler. He's more just like a high diver without a diving board. You know, like what he does is he goes in the air and does different rotations and like spins and rotations at the same time, much the way you would do if you were leaping off a diving board trying to win an Olympic gold medal. But he has no facial expressions whatsoever. He can't work. He doesn't know, like he's got no charisma. There's just he's extremely small, and so he's kind of like his one thing that he can do is kind of like something that a lot of those people can do. Um, as for Dominic Mysterio, he's a one trick pony of I'm my father's son. So that's the reason he has everything that he has. And, he pretty much sucks too. So it's funny how people will complain about, guys looking like people in the crowd, but they never really bring that up with Dominic Mysterio, do they? They'll say Sami Zayn looks like some guy, but they won't, ignoring all the stuff that Sami Zayn can do, but they'll never talk about Dominic Mysterio as being just some guy. You know, it's ridiculous, but whatever. Um. So yeah, there you go. I'm definitely glad I didn't spend any time in my life to watch that. But I also knew, like as much as I could know anything that I don't know, that's what they were going to do on that show. I was just surprised they didn't bother to just go right ahead and do it at Triple Mania when they had the chance. And then they have like a fatal four way, right? So they could have had even another out, so they wouldn't even have to beat their guy, you know. But eh, what do I know? Um, well, I guess that there's nothing left to do then but to talk about TNA, which is also no picnic. Um, I mean, you want to talk about a company that was already sort of floundering, um, and then WWE came in and raised the profile while absolutely doing nothing to uh, advance the actual company, whether it's storylines or whatever. So let's see how that continues in this week. We get to open up with a nice, loving 9/11 tribute. Oh, yes. Well, before we get to the catch up, we gotta make everybody sad first. Never forget. All right, and we never forget the ketchup packet. All right.
Never forget 9/11
Yeah,
and ketchup packets.
and ketchup packets. The ketchup packets is for those who forgot. Just in case you forgot or didn't watch. Uh, there you go. So we are starting out strong because it's Moose, right? Which we all need more Moose in our lives. But he's taking on AJ Francis, and I liked how Tom was trying to put over the fact that these guys have played meaningful football in the NFL for a long time. Not just they were ever in the NFL, but they actually played in the NFL. Mustafa Ali came out to the desk for commentary, as would many people throughout the night. He shook hands with AJ Francis. So is this some sort of collusion right off the bat? I don't know. But then he goes sit down at the desk. Musa and AJ have a match, for lack of a better word. No, they have a match. It's of course there's going to be interference. Of course the interference is going to backfire. Well, actually, not of course. Sometimes the interference doesn't backfire, but Moose does hit the spear, and then he gets on the mic and challenges Ali to a match at Victory Road. I don't enjoy Babyface Moose. I said it before, and I'm reiterating that it's not the ideal. I don't think it's. I don't think it's the best right now. But any moose is better than no moose, so I'm happy with that. What about you? What about the babyface moose? I, I gotta know. Like, does this feel like a little bit off to you?
Yeah, it's missing a lot of what made Moose work. Feels like a stripped down bear version of Moose. Like, hey, I'm here to do the right thing and beat people's ass. Like, okay, that's not that's not why we like you.
No, it sure isn't. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it's kind of hard to go back after you've tried to establish something for so long. It's kind of hard to just go back to being the Ring of Honor like version. It really just doesn't fit. Nothing about turning the system babyface fits. So
Yeah, it turned into like rah TNA against NXT, and that was pretty much it.
yeah, but it's not even. It's just the Order 4. You know, like NXT isn't even entering into the picture anymore. So
At least not for this show.
yeah. Speaking of the system, Gia asks the system what's going to be their approach to the match with the Ziggler brothers, and I guess Fat Eddie's approach is he's just going to go out there and kick their ass. You know, kind of like Moose's approach as a babyface. So, um, oh, this may be exciting. We have the full treehouse back because everybody's back from the gimmick injury report now. Trey Miguel is here, so now we have, uh, we have our treehouse, and their bit is that they can't remember Jake something's last name, so they're doing that.
I got a tattoo. So you do. What's mine say? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet, what does mine say?
Yeah, dude, what does mine say? Sweet. Yeah, that they do that, except with Jake something. Um, Joe Hendry makes an entrance. He's supposed to have a match with Eric Young, I guess. Eric Young comes out with the armory. He says that the people aren't going to believe in you anymore. They're going to believe in me. And as he's saying that, starting to get in the ring, Joe Hendry gets jumped from behind by the other bald guy. So then the match turns into Joe versus the bald guy. And the armory gets ejected from the match. But instead of going home right after that, Joe Hendry allows this guy to get like another minute or so of offense on him and actually selling some of it, which, in my opinion, was a horrendous mistake because psychology-wise, that moment where the armory's interfering and then the referee ejects them and the crowd's like, yeah. Right after that, it's the people aren't going to get any more interested. So at that moment, Joe Hendry should just turn around and hit the standing O on this, this guy that's like a third of his size and go home. But instead no, they didn't. But eventually he did. And then as the armory, as Eric Young and the other guy came back out, Joe Hendry ran away, as they slid in the ring. So there you go. And then afterwards, Eric is telling the guy with hair to attack the guy without hair, and he doesn't want to do it. So Eric Young beats them both up and just repeatedly gives them both a pile driver. Does this mean that we don't ever have to see these two fucks anymore?
One can only hope.
My God. What? Well, what were your thoughts on this segment?
Relief that hopefully that we're done with the Northern Armory.
I well, Matt Cardona lets Ryan Ziegler know that nobody likes it. I'm sure this isn't the first time he's hearing it, but he's definitely backing it up. Victoria Crawford has a podcast, and she is going to do that episode right here. And her first ever guest is going to be Gia Miller. So Gia Miller gets called up, and I like the line when she's just like, "Oh, you brought your own mic. That's cool." um, yeah. Anyway, basically, she's trying to blame Gia for getting beaten up by Tessa, and that's why Tessa Blanchard is not here right now. And Gia's like, "It's Tessa's fault. Tessa isn't here." And then before anything could get physical, Jody Threat comes out and plays Peacemaker, I guess.
Yeah,
Not
she
to be
saw how well that
confused
worked.
with John
saw,
Cena's Peacemaker.
and we saw how well it worked out between Indy and Danny Luna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, oh boy. Uh, I mean, I guess this is kind of interesting in the fact that Gia Miller gets to stand up for herself. I also know she's letting her southern accent out a lot more. You know?
Yeah. When she starts actually getting like in it, yeah, that slips hard.
And even the backstage thing earlier, like now, just as her interview herself, she's not even really trying to suppress it.
Which makes me think that this is leading up to her basically ditching being a backstage interviewer and actually being an in-ring worker.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Leon Slater is on commentary for an interesting four-way. It's Jake Something and the Rascals. So there that was. Myron steals the win with a frog splash on Jake Something while the other two are fighting over who's going to pin Jake Something. So there you go. Your new number one contender, I guess, to Leon Slater's X Division title, Myron Reed.
And honestly, good spot for Myron. I mean, we haven't seen them do a lot with him, and obviously it's a throwaway pay-per-view, so why not give him a little bit of shine and elevate him a little bit? I mean, we know he's not going over Leon Slater.
No. we know we definitely know that. Well, he's basically just been in here to, to do favors for the Rascals team, so Zach doesn't have to get beat. But it's a little something. Yeah, Lab says, yeah, Jake something. Her last pre-show, she had it on thick. Yeah. Gimmick injury report time. Everybody loves the gimmick injury report. Mara Sade has bruising, and she's out. Remember, Agent Zero clothesline, I'm okay. Dolph Ziggler super kick, I'm dead. Can't come back. Sorry, guys. It's a wrap for me. Indy Hartwell, his whole upper body was injured, apparently. Don't worry, she's cleared. Jody Threat had also, so she's had some bruising as well. Boy, there's a lot of that bruising going around. Is that like a legit? Do they actually like in the NFL? Like when it's like torn Achilles, or do they just have bruising? Can a player sit out for bruising?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to know that. Yeah. So Jody's out with bruising. She's clear. No, she's not out. She's cleared with bruising, and we just got the freshest of injury reports because the Northern Armory, their injury is labeled as uncertain. Really, we know they're hurt. We just don't know how. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they got,
you had this pre-programmed package all ready to go with graphics and stuff, but this just happened like 10 minutes ago. Oh my god.
yeah, or do the injury report and then you cut away to like a quick little 1 to 2 minute pre-tape where you have it like a trainer's looking over and maybe like, okay, you're got like concussions or something.
Yeah. Well, they're out. Just in case, no matter what their injury is, they're out. But I would definitely say like it was confusing because normally we get 3 injuries and then we're done with the injury report. This is like a bonus, so I was confused. So then we get at this point in the show we got the cinematic hallway meeting with Kazarian and Jake something with music underneath, and Kazarian asked the question, "Do you finally want to be something?"
Get me Jakey Kazarian, pal.
Jakey Kazarian, the prince of TNA. Next is Billy versus Heather of the Inspiration and Elegance brand, respectively. Um, it's a match. It's the Heather gets a dirty roll up with M's help holding her feet, and Santino comes down and he didn't like that, so he's gonna book another one, and it's gonna be the other two having a match right now. It's Cassie versus M, and Cassie gets the win back for. So a perfect example of literal 50-50 booking right here all in one spot.
Like, yeah, you could not get more clear cut than that.
And there'll be more on that in a second. First, we got to hear a message that Burt Macklin has for Frankie Kazarian. At least we're supposed to get that message. I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying because as soon as I see him on the screen, I'm just like not paying attention. But I know there was music underneath it. That's all I know.
To be fair, I don't remember much from this one. I think it might have been talking more with the chat. I mean, it is Burt Macklin after all.
Yeah, it is Burt Macklin. Well, we know he's holding the line. That's all we really need to. So the concierge tries to appeal to Santino because he doesn't feel like the Elegance brand is being treated fairly. But the more he complains and the more he appeals, the more he gets them booked in upcoming stuff. So, I mean, I guess that's good. Like, you want to be working in this business, right? But yeah, he didn't seem too happy about it at the time. But let's just say the Elegance brand is all booked up for the next foreseeable future. And we're supposed to have a match with Santana and some guy that we never got to know who it was. Because as Santana's making his way through the crowd, Trick Williams jumps him from behind. And then they fight. And then security comes out. And a very small amount of security is able to easily hold these guys back. And then Santana looks fine, but he's still not going to have his match with the other guy. I really wanted to know who that guy was that was standing there in his trunks. But we'll never know now.
And perfect spot, you'd have Santino come out and be like, okay, since your opponent's not can't compete right now because of what's going on here, here's a replacement and send somebody else out. Like, I don't know, like Jake something again. I don't know.
Well, we got to check with the gimmick injury report. Make sure Jake something didn't suffer bruised ribs on that frog splash. Myron Reed has been known to wear a chest protector, as part of his gimmick. So, he could have really hurt Jake with that. I wouldn't want to send him back out there. I thought Santana was good to go. He was completely conscious, not selling anything at all. Just very angry looking. Looked like he could have beat a job guy in 2 seconds, but
Or what about this? You have him, you do a thing with Trick, then you do the job match, and afterwards, Trick and Carmelo Hayes jump him.
sure. I mean, whatever. Why not? I don't know. The Carmelo didn't seem like he was that interested in helping Trick Williams in the first place. When he comes out there, he spent most of his promo talking down to Trick because he still sees him as the sidekick, I guess. So that's funny. Yeah, Scott Woodford would rather jump in than Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, but Carmelo Hayes, he's got to deal with the Miz too. Like, he's got a lot going on. He's just he's moving and shaking there. Speaking of movers and shakers, it's time for the main event. We are here already. It's the Zigglers versus the Fat System. There was chin locks. I mean, that much for sure. I don't know. Yeah. I guess in a way, this is a number one contenders match, right? Because the Hardys are the TNA champions. So, but strangely, the Order 4 is going to rear their ugly head again as the hands get sent down to interfere in the match. And they're able to cause just enough of a problem to get Eddie's leg grabbed by Ryan Ziggler, and he gets the danger zone from Big Brother. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler's here to do number one contenders. They want their Hardys. They want their contractual rematch with the Hardys. So I guess maybe this wasn't an official number one contenders match, but why else would you be having this match? But they're saying that they want their contractually obligated title rematch. So we didn't need to have this match? Is that what it was going to be?
I think it's just a main event to have a main event. Or something to fill the main event slot.
So if the system beat them, then what?
Then I would imagine that Santino come out and say, because of this, it is now a three-way.
Okay. Well, it made it sound like, now I could be forgetting, but it made it sound, the way Ryan made it sound like is like, this is the first we're hearing of them cashing in their, you can call it a cash in for your contractually obligated title rematch. Or had they already said that? And I just forgot.
That's actually a good question. I think they might have said it in previous impacts. I don't remember.
Because he also has the gimmick where he comes out and tells you every single week how much time is left until whether his brother's coming back or whatever else. He's always doing that. So that would be in his that would completely be within his kayfabe character to do that, right? It's just to say, next week, my big brother and I are, getting our contractually obligated rematch. So I don't know if it's just whatever. I've already spent more time on this than I care to. And we might be setting a record for fastest Impact attack. And I still spent more time on this episode of Impact than I care to. Because the Hardys hobble out to the ring. And as soon as their name is mentioned, so they hobble down the ramp, doing their best not to fall down. And then they get in the ring, and there's already referees trying to hold the Hardys back too, because they care so much what the Hardy are going to do. But They get in the ring and the Zigglers take off. They powder. So no physicality. It's fine. This is a night of no physicality except for when Trick, did a Raja Jackson. Other than that, no physicality. It's good, clean sportsmanship and some cheating. Now, Victory Road is not this weekend, but next weekend, right?
Yes, I believe a week from this Friday. I'll have to double check, but I think that's usually how TNA does their shows is on Fridays. Or their PLEs, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I am not looking forward to it, but we did get some matches for it. At least, I mean, look, if a wrestler says, "Hey, I want a match with you at such and such," they never don't get it, right? Like management never says, "No, we actually had other plans for you at that show, so we're gonna go with that." If you say it, it happens. So we're definitely getting Moose versus that guy. We're definitely getting Leon Slater, but that was decided. That was actually a number one contendership match. So, a couple things here and there. And we got one more show. 2 more shows. And then it's all, anything that matters is going to happen at Bound for Glory because we know damn well that nothing's going to happen at Victory Road.
Yes, what? It's like a clash of the champions you got to pay for. Not even that quality either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some of those Clash of Champions, I don't know.
Yeah, there were some little okay. There were a few that
some have Van Hammer on it, I think. So. Yeah. But hopefully this was of at least satisfying enough quality for you. Maybe not, maybe not the most content rich episode, but it was a efficient and fast and fun episode, and we were glad to see so many people here. Sorry that TNA can't be more entertaining. We rely on them a little bit to give us stuff to work with, and as you could tell, as the kids say, this wasn't it. So no. So we're going to let you get on out of here a little bit earlier than normal. But before we do, we'll let you know where we're going to be the rest of the week. Brandon, what do you got going on the schedule?
Let's see. Tomorrow, we got the late start NXT watch along as soon as the A show is over. That's going to be fun. Looking forward to the NXT Homecoming show. And that should be good. I mean, was it Stephanie Vaqueros teaming up with Rhea and who else? I'm drawing a blank here again. I'm sorry.
Rhea and that other lady.
What was her name?
The one. The one. She's got the stuff. And she's got that song. Tiffy Time.
Tiffy, yeah.
Thanks, Cold-Blooded. Yeah, that should be a good. Like NXT looks like they had a nice little program lined up.
Yep. So then on Wednesday we got the AEW Dynamite watch along and bell count. Thursday the Impact watch along and bell count. Friday SmackDown watch along and bell count, and then Saturday we got. We're gonna do we also got a WrestlePalooza. Gonna do that. And then Sunday, we got HMG After Dark. Not sure what we're doing on that. And then, of course, repeat Monday next week.
All right. How did the Monday Night Raw watch along go this week? Did they finish in time?
Not unfortunately. We actually were at an end right as they're making the entrance for the main event. So we actually finished that as soon as we're over here.
What was the main event?
Jimmy and LA Knight versus Braun and Bronson.
Oh. Yeah. Yes. And yes, Zane Vicious, a la carte was just Moose existing. That's all I got on this episode. It was just Moose existing, and I didn't even like the Moose they served. I didn't like it because it's babyface Moose, and it's not my preferred Moose preparation style. So, but I'm just that's all I had. Nothing else on this whole thing. So, good question though. And as for me, you can find me at Opinion Haver everywhere, all your favorite social media platforms. You can check me out on the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. You can check me out on The Wreckage with Jimmy T, where we talk about AEW, Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Um, and check out Wrestling with Britt Rogers every Friday, Concrete Time. Jake Hager was on with Rip and Vaughn this past week, so go check that out. Stevie Richards show every Friday. Stevie Richards talking about the inside tricks of professional wrestling. He's exposing the secrets of the business. But there's the usual great other content such as news and um, what went wrongs and everything else that Stevie does is good. Limpin' Ain't Easy with Timmy Baltimore, special guest Spencer Slade, hearing impaired wrestler that's doing his thing. So check that out. That's just about it, I think. So we'll rejoin the Raw watch along for the last however many minutes to cap off the night. But until then, for Brandon, I'm the vet, and I don't have a sign off line.